Hi, everybody. Welcome to today's episode of A Guy with a Scarf. I'm happy to be with Paola Marinone and Bengu Atamer from BuzzMyVideos. Hello, hi. As
Hi,
you may
hello,
know,
hi everyone.
they know a lot more than us average people about YouTube. So the idea was to do a kind of what's new on YouTube, what's going on in YouTube land. Paola, enlighten us.
Well, first of all, thank you for having us here. It's always a pleasure to talk to you and listen to your point of views. What's new in YouTube land? I would say from a business/industry perspective, there are some data that I keep talking about because they are the key game changer in the years to come. I don't think they are like common knowledge so far, but I think that it tells the whole story of what's going to happen in the next 5 to 10 years. So from an industry perspective, I think this is a key data that are going to define strategies moving on. So there are two slides I just wanted to go through. This is the first one, which tells a couple of things. This is basically the percentage of viewership by type of share of TV, so it's connected TV. The two things to look at here are basically, actually three. Streaming, it goes from, in 1 year time, from 34.3 to 37.7. It's quite a change, to be fair, in 1 year time. Broadcast is kind of stable. Didn't change much from 23.8 to 23.3. It went slightly down, but kind of the same. But cable instead, it went from 30.2 to 27.6. It's basically the reverse jump in a way to what streaming is. And I think this is it's very telling in 1 year time. So 12 months is it's a short period of time for such a big change. So it's something I personally would expect like in 3 years time. It's like it's more natural, but 12 months is like really either a red flag, if it depends on how you look at it, or like it's a massive growth opportunity, and depending again on how you look at it.
And this is big screen only. Sorry, Paola. This is big screen only.
Correct. This is just connected TV. Okay. And that's the key change, because connected TV and TVs are where everybody wants to be at the end of the day. Although like every device is important, the big dollars are actually on TV, and the way that we produce, distribute, and consume content ultimately are going to be like defined of who's owning the big screen at the end, which is a bit funny if you think about YouTube being a social media platform, like a video platform, but everybody wants to be on TV at the end. And these are the information here, which is basically, if you focus and zoom in on all of the data of who inside of streaming is actually growing versus not. Two important information. One is Netflix. Netflix goes from 7.3 to 7.8. It grows steadily, nice. But YouTube goes from 7.9 to 9.3. And I think that's the key bit that for YouTube, but only, we need to focus on.
And sorry, I imagine this is US only, or?
Correct. That's correct.
Okay. And also the one thing, as when we, so just to be, as much as we can precise with the data, it's also true that through a year, like I see a bump in August, that may be the Olympics. I don't know. I have no idea. But so there could be a seasonality in the year. So, comparing January and January. So there is a trend. When there is a trend, it's clear. If you see oscillations during the year, there may be a consideration of, okay, there's something happening big in general. I don't know, the US election for a US audience may sway a bit for 2 weeks or maybe more. So there may be consideration the fact that this is month by month, correct?
Yeah, that's month by month. The numbers I was looking at were February to February, so like really the beginning and the end. So they were comparable in terms of months, and that was really 12 months basically difference.
Yeah.
But I think the key points that I think it's important for everyone in the industry is really, however you look at it, I mean, the usage is changing. And that's an opportunity for growing for many different, could be rights holder, could be even broadcaster, like just taking it in a different way, like it's just a different direction. But the key thing is that the sooner you actually catch the audience on the big screen, the better it is. It could even be for brands, for example, like there are like all the brands that want to be on TV, but like SMBs, like, or big brands that want to just diversify, they can go on connected TV in a completely different way in a market like the US. So I think that this is extremely important from a production, distribution, from a right holder brand perspective. It really could change the way strategies are going to be dealt with in the next few years.
Yeah, and my next question is for Bengu. I always had the impression that YouTube was basically the only modern, I would say, platform that never, not completely, but never changed. I think it looks the same. It seems it has the same feature for the last 10 years. But lately, not because only because I'm following you on LinkedIn, I see a lot of posts on what's new. I think there has been an acceleration in terms of product features, at least the visible one, because I can imagine YouTube has changed as a platform inside. But tell me the true story.
100%. I think at the core of it, YouTube has always kept its core kind of like the same. But YouTube is a very prolific platform, unlike other platforms. It has a lot of little tiny kind of features that you have impact on, from thumbnails to playlists to metadata, etc. But very recently, not sure, obviously we see that it's winning across the board, across streaming, across podcasts, across music, etc. Maybe it's related to the fact that the new CEO is coming from a product kind of background. And they are shipping one feature after another. Obviously, what's new in terms of new functionalities and features, for the last couple of years, they are investing a lot in short form. YouTube Shorts is, everybody knows that if you're not doing shorts, you have to do shorts. But then they are doubling down on their AI capabilities. Obviously, they have Google backing them, and Google has DeepMind. So they must be integrating a lot of AI from content, from features like content strategy to content. Most importantly, one thing that YouTube has always been criticized or has always been requested to fix is discoverability and recommendation engine. So now with some new functionalities, they are giving a voice to some up and coming creators so that they can be more discovered. So there is this new feature called the hype. You can boost a channel or a content through that hype button. I have never seen it in work. The minute I see it, it's going to be on LinkedIn, so no worries. But I can see that playing out with content types like music and sports, because they are both fan-based content. So whenever this hype button is available, especially now that we are seeing a lot of new kind of like new creators or athletes joining in the sports side, new up and coming artists and musicians joining on the music side, I can see how that functionality can play into them connecting with their fans and encouraging their fans. And then on the other side, one other important kind of like functionality or feature that I like is obviously being able to create content on the go when it is short. So the ease of content creation has never been, or these editing capabilities has never been available on YouTube. But now with their competition with TikTok, etc., they are integrating more and more ways that you can create content on the go, off the shelf, of like just on your mobile, basically. And one feature, if anybody is hearing us or like listening to us, it's great that they have launched thumbnail A/B testing. Now everybody is asking title A/B testing. So I don't know if it's going to happen anytime soon, but if they can bring title A/B testing, then they will have kind of like a full circle of good metadata optimization functionalities.
Okay, thank you. So going back to Paola, how are the creators doing on the platform? How are the in our case, sport organization doing on the platform? You have any idea of what's going on in that? We know there are some huge creators, and we know that a lot of sport and organization, athletes, entities are trying to do something on YouTube. What's the status quo at the end of 2024?
So it's interesting because I see a lot of athletes coming into the space right now. It's growing. I was actually wondering why this was not happening before. I've been talking in the industry with a lot of people and just really wondering why a lot of athletes were on Instagram or TikTok, and nothing wrong with that, absolutely great. But while you're doing Reels and TikTok videos, why not on YouTube as well? It's just not exactly the same thing, but it's very strange that it's not really considered. Now, with Cristiano Ronaldo launching his own channel, that's I think it's the start of a new era. That's the exception of the exception. So number-wise, growth-wise, it's just a massive thing that happened to YouTube. But I think that athletes have a lot to say on YouTube. And that's a very good commercial opportunity for them as well. So that's one of the biggest trends that I see right now. Rights holders, they're trying to figure out how to leverage more YouTube, like top of funnel in a way. There's a lot of still OTT versus YouTube discussion, which for me is a bit funny because they're not competing. The two things are very complementary. They just serve a different step in the funnel. So definitely YouTube is on the top of funnel, and then you want to convert down the line into OTT. So it's not one against the other. It's never been. But I think that I see already some are working a lot into that direction of combining the two entities and just differentiate the strategies, to be honest, which makes total sense to me. So it's getting more into that direction, which I think it's great, because then if you think of the biggest OTT platform, if you think of Netflix, I was actually looking at their channels this morning. And we were having a bet with Bengu, is how many channels do you think Netflix has on YouTube, if any? And there are between 50 and 100 channels from Netflix. So if you think about that, that's the biggest OTT ever. But they have 50 to 100 channels on YouTube. So, I mean, I think that's end of story. I mean, that's the whole story. So that's definitely moving forward. I think that still archives are not as leveraged as they should, and all rights holders have millions of pieces of content they're sitting on, and they're still not thinking strategically about that, because they're of course, they have other strategy questions in their mind about whatever is the game for tomorrow or next year, next season, etc. That is still a whole golden pot, completely untouched, the whole archive part, which for YouTube is the golden pot, to be honest.
One thing that I noticed is Jude Bellingham produced his own original series about himself and posted it on YouTube. I saw my son saw up to the 4th episode. So what was unique is full production, so without going to Netflix and I don't know if it's in other places, but for sure it's on YouTube available, and it's a long form. I don't remember if the episodes are 30 minutes or something like that, but it's not like a small documentary. It's a production. So that's also a new thing, basically disintermediating completely from obviously the player. I would say content factory, whatever it is, directly to the fans, even more than what we have seen a lot of other players and clubs doing. So that's also something I want to follow.
Yeah, absolutely. He was actually, after Cristiano Ronaldo, I think he launched the channel 1 week or 10 days later. It was everything was in the making for a while, and then suddenly everything happened all together. And I think, yeah, they want to go to their audience. I mean, fair enough, makes sense. And then it's valuable.
And I don't remember exactly the news, but I've seen more and more players sometimes getting together and creating content studios, because clearly you need, especially if you want to target the big screen, you need a better than an iPhone in front of you production style, right? maybe not the, I don't know, not the super documentary level, but you need serious production capability. Otherwise,
You
your
can do
content
both.
cannot compete when you go. No, but especially on the big screen. Yeah, if it's really shitty content on the big screen, I think people just get bored. But it's my opinion, because maybe I'm a boomer. So
Yes and no. You can have both, and it really depends on who's your audience. Younger audience are totally fine with quality of production as far as it's authentic. Much grown-up old audience, let's say, they expect something different because it's the big screen. But so I think it really depends on what's the audience that they are going after.
Yeah. So clearly, it's a very dynamic environment, ecosystem, the YouTube one. But I also want to know what's going on with BuzzMyVideos, to be honest. So I know Bengu's was not maybe as fast as YouTube, but was shipping features for BuzzMyVideo lately. So maybe if you want to spend a few minutes explaining what you're doing lately, that would be good, I think.
Sure. We are shipping fast enough, let's say, but maybe not as fast as YouTube either. We have on our side, we know that, for instance, one of the key functionalities on YouTube, and it's completely free, it's available to everyone, and I don't think everyone is using it kind of like as much as they should, which is playlisting. We have recently integrated a playlisting automation into our technology, where it's available with one keyword. You could create playlists automatically on your channel. So this then allows us to get more watch time, tackle the search kind of like results, etc. So that is on our side. That was like the main feature. In terms of YouTube, these are the things that I've briefly kind of mentioned at the beginning of our kind of like conversation. I think one of the most important one is definitely they are launching something similar to Discord. So they are going to give a little bit of a more community boost to some channels. This is coming. And most importantly, they are utilizing AI in the, on your analytics, there is this kind of like inspiration hub. And in that inspiration hub, you can see content gaps, you can see different content strategy ideas, but they are also giving you, oh, you should be creating a video about XYZ title. So they are actively trying to shape what's being watched, what's being trending on YouTube, and bringing it back as content strategy back to the channels. So which is good. And again, yeah, shorts, they've recently extended shorts to 3 minutes. But this is the dream screen, where you can create shorts and backgrounds. If you do not have editing capabilities, it makes your life easier to kind of create shorts. Dubbing, I'm not sure if this is talked or experimented a lot by channels right now. You were talking about Jude Bellingham, and today I was checking his channel. I actually did kind of like one comparison with Ronaldo and Bellingham on LinkedIn, and we've noticed that he is, on each of his videos, he is adding subtitles in obviously Spanish, and right now in French and in Italian as well, in 5 different languages. So he's trying to extend his reach to the audiences that are actually following him because of the club that he's playing in. This functionality, auto dubbing, I think is going to be kind of groundbreaking in the sense that to extend your reach to, let's imagine that all of a sudden you are sitting in Italy and then you're watching Jude Bellingham's videos in Italian, dubbed in Italian. I think it's going to be really cool. But I do not see it kind of like being deployed enough, or it's not really fully available to everyone. This is the hype button that we were talking about. With one boost, you could get your content discovered. And I think that should be more or less it. That's kind of like the wrap. These are the most recent things that's happening on YouTube. And on BuzzMyVideos side, yes, we are busy. We've just come from a trip from New York, and we are attending other kind of like conferences. Paola is going away. Maybe she can talk about that as well. So yeah, loads happening at the same time. Q4 is always a very busy quarter, end of the year, isn't it?
Yeah, busy and looking forward to 2025. There's a lot going on, like in the roadmap from a product perspective, but also from a strategic perspective. We are like discussing many interesting partnerships with other tech platforms so that we could integrate. So we want to just create the whole value chain for the clients to have everything in some cases, either like a platform to create an OTT, so you get the promotion of the video, like optimization of the videos when you go on YouTube, or like from a production to distribution and then optimization. We're looking into working as well with more agencies and using the technology. So it's going to be an interesting year to come.
Okay, and we'll meet at in Rome for Social Food SFS Rome, November 19. And then we have Sportel before, and then Sports Pro Madrid after. So it's event season, right? Okay.
Yes.
So
and what a pleasure we're going to be cheering together at the same stage. I mean, what a pleasure to be together.
Let's see how it goes.
It's going to be fun. I need a scarf.
Certo. Thank you, Paola. Thank you, Bengu, for the update. And maybe let's talk again in 6 months to see what's new in the middle of 2025. Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye.